everybody, welcome back to another episode of Cavanaugh's Corner. Today on the show, I'm going to be talking about the new shark film. Haven't said that in a long time, but we're going to be talking about a new I guess you could say, thriller / comedy starring Jason Statham, and that is The Meg. Really, The Meg is about this giant megalodon that has been found and is wreaking havoc, and it's really just a crazy, crazy movie. These researchers, these scientists find a area, it's off the coast of China, that is basically hiding like this entire wildlife, and they basically dive underneath this little area and they find a megalodon, and my God, is it a crazy, crazy, crazy movie. Jason Statham stars as this underwater rescuer guy that has encountered one of these megalodons in the past. Nobody believes him, and he's kind of called in by a friend to rescue his ex-wife and these other people that are trapped below the surface. And really just chaos ensues after that. The Meg is one of these summer action / thriller / horror / comedy movies. It's really a whole mix of things. And really, it's one of these kind of leave your brain at the door movies. It's not a movie to be taken seriously. I will say that much. You cannot watch this movie as a deadly serious film and get anywhere with it, because you're going to hate it if you try and do that. It's not that kind of movie. You got to kind of go in and just turn your brain off. Chris Stuckman reviewed this movie recently, and he kind of said the same thing, basically. I'm going to go along with what he said and just kind of say, if you try to take this movie seriously, you're not going to get very far. It's a really wacky movie. The technology that's in it is slightly ridiculous, so you really have to kind of leave your brain at the door. Just go in and watch it and try to have a good time, and you'll probably enjoy it. It's definitely not Jaws level of suspense, I will tell you that much. It's not even Jaws 2 levels of suspense. It's definitely a whole hell of a lot better than Jaws 3 and 4, but it's still a fun movie. It does have its moments. It's not a horror movie, I will tell you that much. It is definitely not a horror movie. I'd actually say it's more of an action movie than it is a horror movie, but it does have some scary moments. It's mostly a thriller / like comedy film. There are a lot of really funny moments in it. Jason Statham, his comic timing is great in this, and it's probably one of the better movies he's done in quite a few years. Although I actually enjoyed The Mechanic Resurrection, even though that movie's kind of a mess, I kind of enjoy that movie as just a disposable action movie. His acting in this is pretty solid. So is Rainn Wilson, and he does a pretty good job in this too. I am not the biggest Office fan. I know I'm going to get some hate for that, but I'm really not big on that show. But he is a very good comedic actor, and he is also very good in this as an eccentric billionaire, and he's just great. There's some really funny stuff in it. The movie does have some pretty cliched moments. There are some really, really kind of like, oh, what was that kind of moment, and some false jump scares and stuff like that. But the movie does also have some surprising moments in it as well. And the surprising moments kind of outweigh the cliches, in my opinion. I found it to be a very entertaining film, and I kind of got a kick out of it. When it was all said and done, I was like, well, pretty harmless, but it was fun. I had a good time in it. The sound in this movie was really crazy. I saw it in IMAX. I've heard it's better in Dolby Atmos, in a Dolby Atmos theater, but I saw it in IMAX, and I thought in IMAX it looked great. The underwater cinematography in this was also pretty great. There were some shots where you couldn't really tell whether or not it was CGI or really in the water, and the CGI in this is also pretty great. The CGI I thought was outstanding. The Megalodon does look really good in certain shots. The underwater facility I thought was also really well done. it really looked a little too Star Trek-ish in a couple points. There's even a Star Trek reference near the beginning of the movie, but overall, it was just a very harmless, fun film. And if you go into it just expecting this kind of, you know, just funny movie, you're going to like it. If you go in expecting this really hardcore, gory horror movie with this giant shark, you're not going to like it. It is definitely not that kind of movie. To be honest with you, it reminded me a lot of a movie that came out in, I think, like the early 2000s, late 90s, called Lake Placid, which had Bill Pullman and Bridget Fonda, and that movie and this movie kind of have a lot of similarities, except for they don't really explain how the hell the crocodile got into a lake. But it's a damn good movie. It's a damn enjoyable movie, and I got a kick out of it. The movie really, really could have benefited, though, from a little more horror. I think that part was probably the weakest point of the movie, is that you can really tell they PG-13 the shit out of this movie, and that is really too bad. I was reading an article recently where Jason Statham talked about how disappointing it was with the fact that they went with a PG-13 instead of the original R rating that they had in mind. And honestly, I can really see it, because there's barely any blood in the whole movie. And when you're watching a movie where a giant shark is eating people and, like, eating friggin' boats, you kind of want to see the blood, like it's kind of what you're going to see, but there's not a lot in it, and it's too bad. It's still an entertaining film, but I'm really looking forward to seeing if they put out a director's cut when it comes out on video, because I would like to see it. By the way, the movie is actually directed by John Turteltaub, who also directed National Treasure and Phenomenon. So he's a pretty solid director. I actually enjoy most of the movies he's made over the years. And he does a really good job with this. As I mentioned earlier, the cinematography is pretty solid. And overall, it's just a very enjoyable film. It's harmless. As long as you don't go in expecting like a Jaws-level movie, you're going to be fine. It's just a lot of fun. I'm giving The Meg a 3 out of 5. I really liked it. Would I go see it a second time in theaters? Probably not. But I'm really hoping they put out an R-rated version when they put it out on video, because it was a little too tame for my liking. Anyway, I'm Andrew Cavanaugh. Thank you for coming back to Cavanaugh's Corner. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to see more reviews like this. Until next time, take it easy. And also, watch it if you go to the beach. Be careful. Bye-bye.